Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities with the Wolf, and obviously just general share advice and not personal. And Wolf, let's get going. So, good news, Wolf. The Nasdaq held up. I mean, it's still looking pretty negative. It's still looking like it's going low at the moment, but at least it held up, which was a good sign. But the Dow, listen, I think it could have been a lot worse. It's obviously slightly lower. A lot's going to depend this week, Wolfie.
100%. I think, Dave, we're just going to have to wait and see how the market goes over the next few days to see what the fallout might be, how the market behaves. But investors are nervous. I can see on our market here, and the problem here we're much more illiquid, right? So the smaller stocks in the tech space are getting sold off. So it's going to be a bit of volatility coming up. So just fasten the seat belts and let's hope it's not a huge, big falls for us here in Australia.
Well, this is interesting because, the general feeling is, and you said it the other day, we're in a lot better place than America. Mm-hmm. And if you look at our ASX, absolutely falling like a knife, and their market not looking as bad. So what's going on here? Is this just a real overreaction by the Australians?
Look, there's probably two things here, Dave. We talked about it a little bit this morning, right? So one is overreaction, probably. Also, we are very dominated by two industries, mining and the banks. And, probably the four banks and two top miners in Rio BHP. And we saw them this morning. They're all down. So it means we're going to go down definitely today. And it's dragging everything down with it. And the reason why the banks are probably down, everyone's nervous about the financials space. We've got the US banks getting a bit of a hammering as well overnight. So there you go. We don't have any tech space. The tech space bounced a little bit in America. We don't have much here. So it's just one of those, what do? We just got to suffer a little bit and see whether we can bounce back over the next maybe few days, weeks.
Yeah, Wolfie, you can look at this. ANZ looking pretty weak. NAB.
Yeah.
CBA, they look at CBA. They all look like they're going to come a lot lower, don't they?
I know.
WBC. You've got BHP and Rio just holding above trend at the moment, so not as bad. But you can see those 6 stocks are huge weights on our index.
Massive.
And
they're probably almost, getting close to 50% of the market weight. It's just 4 or 5 of them, right? That's crazy.
It is good, but out of the darkness cometh the light, and the gold stocks. So the gold plays are doing very, very well. So those gold stocks, looking great, aren't they? I mean, we put out a number of ideas on Einstein's, and most of them up 5%, 4%, looking very, very good. And Wolf, we had a look at the at CMM, which I didn't put on. If it looks like that, it's got a buy signal by the end of the week. It looks particularly good, that one. So Wolfie, gold space. Yesterday you were saying don't be greedy. If you make 5%, take a profit. Do you stick by that still?
I am sticking by it because you just never know with gold. Right, it doesn't matter what analyst you are. It's just impossible to predict where the gold is going next. We could have a strong upsurge, but then a quick sell down, right? If things change again in the US. So I think if you're sitting on a pretty good profit, whatever that might be for you, take it. And you can always start again. Just bank some profits and you can, if it's still looking good, buy it again, have a tight stop loss again and go again.
Okay, that's if you're trading it. Obviously, if you're more got a more medium-term view. Does that change your opinion a little bit?
No, because like I said, medium-term, long-term, I've got no idea where gold's going. At least I know that at the moment. It's a bit of a surge. We saw gold go up $44 to 1911. That's 2.5%. That's a pretty good little surge. Let's hope it goes another few days.
Yeah, just having a look here.
But the long term, look at that. And the long term, it looks great, right? But again, how confident am I it's going to go up? It's always difficult with gold.
Look at it on the monthly if it stays like that by the end of the month.
I know. And this is why there's a bit of confidence. If you've got this sort of chart, you think, okay, well, it's looking good.
No, it's looking
but technically, I can understand that. But when you think about it, fundamentally, it's just difficult to say where gold's going to go next.
All right, Wolf, we're going to talk about hot stock, BDM.
Yep.
The announcement came out. I was totally wrong. I thought they're buying shops.
That's all right. It doesn't matter if you're wrong, but it's still pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still. But it's a fascinating announcement, actually, Wolf, and I'm going to bring it across here. So at the moment, they're trading on about 100 million market cap. They bought one of the 10 biggest diamond mines in the world for 209 million Australian dollars. I think they're getting Bell Potters and some other company to do the raise. But when you look at the numbers in 2002, it says here, it could have been a particularly strong year for them. Ekati sold 4.2 million carats and delivered revenue of US 494 million and EBITDA of US 200 million. Now, what do you make of that?
Well, it looks impressive, but I wonder the adjustments, what they were like, and I wonder what the profits like, because obviously they're leaving that out, right? But obviously, when you look at just those numbers that they've cherry picked, look pretty good. I think at the end of the day, you're backing Okeefe here because he's got an incredible track record, right? Where they can make, because this is very different to CIA. CIA was a broken down mine that he bought it on a cheap from a receiver almost, right? So an incredible. This is different. This is operating mine. It's going to come up with a EBITDA, positive EBITDA. So it's a very different and very different commodity as well. To me, extremely risky, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing. So like I said, you're backing the man more than anything else, because I reckon most of us, we've got no idea about this mine. And, we had a look at it. Ekati used to be part of BHP. They sold it to another company, and this company is now selling to these guys. So you've got to ask yourself, why are these guys company, if they're making 200 million EBITDA, why are these guys selling? Look, there's probably more to it than we will ever know.
Well, I think they say it's a number. It's got about 6 years left on the mine life.
So maybe that's the reason why
but there is a possibility to extend that mine life.
Yeah, good exploration, you never know, right?
Right, and the guy, and if that's the case, but yeah, it's like you said, you've got Okeefe who took Riversdale from nothing, sold it for 2 billion. He bought CIA for 10 million. It's now worth what, billions? Yeah. He's got the Midas touch, and I'm happy to say, I think it's gonna. I think from a hot stock, it's gonna be a good hot stock, Wolfie.
And the other thing is they're obviously raising quite a bit of cash. So we got to wait until the terms are out, see what their price they're raising it at, the terms and all these sort of things. So still a little bit more to go before we understand exactly what's going on. But yeah, look, I think if you are backing the man and his track record, you possibly could make some money here. Yes.
Now, Wolf, it's very important people understand is that because they bought a company which is so much bigger than them, there's an issue with the ASX, so you have to redo your prospectus, a mini prospectus, to get a shareholder approval. So unfortunately, a little bit of work there for
yeah, it's they're going to probably take another month, right, before we.
Yeah, I'd say so. These things always take longer than you think, right?
Yeah.
It says via full form prospectus, so. Yeah, end of April maybe.
Yeah, look, they have to. Like this is part of the regulations of if you're doing something to your business that's going to transform it, and this is transformational. You've got to come out with new set of talk and numbers. So that's what they're going to be doing in the prospectus. But like I said, it's all about Okeefe. So let's if you're in this, you got to wait a little bit longer, but possibly you could make some money on this if everything seems to fall into place, and we'll follow it, of course, over its course of its time.
Okay, very, 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 very good, Wolfie. Excellent. Now, so the gold stocks, like we said, looking good. I think Northern Star. I love the way Northern Star, and again, you're looking at now record prices for Aussie gold at the moment. So no wonder Northern Star is looking very, very good. PRU doing particularly well. Again, that's up 4% today. BGL, Newcrest, and like I said, that little CMM is looking good if it looks like this by the weekend. RXM, again, a little smaller gold play, hasn't really gone on with it. A little bit strange there, Wolf.
Copper play, Dave. Copper play.
Oh, copper play. Sorry.
That's why it doesn't quite fit in there.
Well, it's copper gold, isn't it? But it's got a bit of gold, yeah.
It's more copper than gold for sure. But anyway, just speaking of RXM and copper itself, I've just been reading articles about the imminent crunch and supplies to copper. So, just be patient with some of these copper plays if you're in them. I'm sort of trying to find probably the best play for maybe the fund that we might invest into. So, RXM is still up there as an interesting play for sure, because they're coming up also to the really important part of their life, and that is funding, right? So I think they talked about by the end of the mid-year, they need to make a decision to mine.
Right. Wolf, what other sort of gold copper plays are around at the moment?
All right. So copper gold plays, obviously Oz Minerals was probably the one, but Havilah obviously has got gold and a bit of other stuff in there as well. But I tend to just stick to them and separate them from gold to copper, because there's, when you start looking at copper golds and so on, they're probably looking at really big mines that maybe like, South America or something like that. We really don't have much like that in Australia. There might be some copper and then a little bit of gold, or maybe gold and a little bit of copper in there. We've got the Boda, for example, right? That was alkanes. That's also one of those copper gold, maybe, right? You can have a look at as well. And then, of course, you've got, Evolution. We've got Ernest Henry as well, which is copper. So, it's not easy to just go, oh, this is a great copper gold play, because there's not many around in Australia.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Alkane is still is moving more as a gold play at the moment rather than a
exactly. This is
copper
why
gold.
Mm-hmm.
Where okay, all right. Now, did you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to quickly just go through F1 Arena, please. And I just want to go through some of the updates on some of the stocks that we follow, maybe trade sometimes. So let's go through Aristocrats, ALL, please, to start off with. And we've got Citi rating at 41.20, still a buy for them. And they looked at the Pixel United, which is the online digital gaming, and it wasn't brilliant. But then they looked at the social casinos, and that was going okay. But look at the chart, Dave. You probably starting to get nervous, wouldn't you?
Chart looks absolutely horrendous. So,
what do you do? You probably get to wait for the week.
Yeah, if you wait, you hold it. But if the end of the week it looks like that, I think you're definitely getting out, right?
You can see the nervousness of the markets, right? They are sort of thinking these tech plays, and this is really now a tech play. Maybe we want to just lessen our exposure a little bit. All right, next one. And I mentioned this one before, APM at the start of the week. Remember, I just thought it's so cheap. So there's a couple of brokers out there, and I just want to quickly mention what their price targets are here. APM.
Yeah.
So we got Morgan Stanley at $3. Right. So it looks so ugly. So $3 for Morgan Stanley. UBS has got it at $3.75, Dave.
Wow.
So you can see it's just such a disconnect, isn't it? From brokers who are very bullish to the market saying no.
That's ridiculous.
I know. And they've both got strong opinions on these that are positive, which is interesting, isn't it? All right, let's go to BOE, one of our preferred uranium plays, right? If we're going to be playing it. So they've got Macquarie's got an outperform at a $3.20 target, which is interesting. So that development is going nicely, and the first production is expected end of the calendar year. So this could be a transformational. When you get your first cash flows, it could change these BOE significantly. So one to watch, put on your watch list. All right, so we had CMM as our one of the gold plays here. So they've got Macquarie's got an underperform. The reason for that is just expensive for them, but they like it. So $4.70 price target. So still decent, but they've got a fully valued here. That's why they've got a underperform. All right, next one. We go to Evolution, right? Another gold play. And we've got Macquarie and Citi. So Citi has got a sell on Evolution and a $2.80 price target.
Yeah, it's poor. It's funny. It's not really trending, is it?
No, it's probably one that's struggling, isn't it? And then you've got Macquarie also neutral at 280. So they've both got sort of like, let's call it fairly neutral stances on 280 price targets, 280 to 70 price targets. So from them, they're thinking there's better gold plays out there. And look, fair play. Everyone's got a different opinion on things, right? Next one, Macquarie, MQG, UBS has got a buy on Macquarie. You can see how the markets are nervous, right? They're selling these things off right now, but they've got a $211 price target, and they are quite bullish on these guys.
Well, this could be the baby being, washed down the tube with a bath. What's the saying? What's the
Throw the baby out with bathwater.
Yeah, that's the one. Who makes that ridiculous
I don't know,
saying?
I always get confused myself.
Yeah, but why would you throw a baby out with the bathwater? I don't get it. But
all right. That's good. That's good.
Okay. But your baby, which is Macquarie, you're not throwing it out. You're most probably seeing this as an opportunity. I think they're called Macquarie Group. Everyone thinks they're more of a bank, and they're getting treated like a bank.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But look, I find it fascinating with Macquarie because there's so many different opinions of Macquarie. Some are calling it a bank, some are calling it as an investment bank, some are calling that it's like a hybrid. For me, they're just great operators, right? Whatever they do it very well. So overall, I think I'm still a big believer on Macquarie over a long period of time. They will have the ups and downs. Right now, the market's getting punished, so they probably go down with the markets. I mean, that's just normal. I don't see it's stock specific this downturn, but it will bounce somewhere along the line. So my next target will be 170. But if it stays like this, if you're a trader, you've got to get out.
Right. If it looks like this by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
But put it a monthly for me, Dave, just to give because remember, this has always been a long-term sort of buy for us or a hold. So 160 would probably be what I'm getting a bit nervous.
And if you get to 160, get some support, maybe you're looking to nibble there.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Hopefully it doesn't get that far, but you just never know. The market can be very, very unpredictable. All right, last one. And I've got Woolies. Let's go look at Woolies. And they've got a buy. City's got a buy on it. But the price I got a $42. So if you're looking at defensives, $42 from City is a buy. The yield is not great. It's about 3%, but you may be a bit of safety there.
What are you getting at with Metcash at the moment?
So Metcash,
because they had a little bit of a fall recently.
Yeah, they did. Have a look. Let's have a look. So they paid the dividend as well, quite possibly. But look at that. That's just it looks so ugly for some reason, doesn't it? Oh, there could be some bargains to be had over the next.
That's what I'm saying. It's coming down near the trend line on the monthly. It has hovered around there in the past. It could go a little bit lower.
So this is the cheapest of the plays in this particular sector. 15 times, 8% yield. Let's just see when they pay the dividends, because they don't say it here. Let's just go events. Let me see dividends. Okay, dividend payment detail. I want to see when they pay the dividends. Maybe they just pay this. But again, if you got the long-term view, Dave, maybe you would have a nibble around here, wouldn't you? 370, somewhere there.
Yeah, I'd be just interested to see what the
date, X dates, pay date. Yeah, they haven't paid a dividend since December, so maybe there's another one coming in.
So what are you on Metcash at the moment?
8.5. Fully franked and grossed up 8.5%.
That's very appealing, isn't it? There's an opportunity. I think that
this is the thing. If you're looking for dividend plays, you want to buy them on the long-term trends. This is it. Taking a punt, and if it breaks it, you're not losing that much, are you? You've got a nice stop here at around 370 something, maybe 365, just to give it a little bit of leeway.
Listen, it's an opportunity, surely.
Metcash
around these sort of levels. I mean, even if it's bite to 3, I mean, you got to have I mean, is really Metcash going to change that much? It's a supermarket, isn't it?
That's right. Well, supermarket with hardware stores, you know. I think it's a good little opportunity here. If you're looking for a dividend play, it's a great little opportunity.
All right, Wolf, thank you very much for that. On that note, what did we come up today? Gold looking good. Wolfie says take a profit. I'm just a
scaredy cat, you know, because I know how volatile these things can be, and I know that sometimes some of you guys thinking that it's going to go to the moon. That's why I'm just being very cautious with you. But if you know how to operate your trend lines and your stops, then of course just use the stops. And you know, I'm agreeing with you, Dave. Use the stops 100%. But if you're just, you know, a little bit scaredy like me, take a profit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? I mean, look what the gold price was trading.
I know.
This is still from. I still think this has got further to go.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'll tell you what. Maybe I'd say Northern Star's got further to go. Newcrest, I think it's got further to go. I like that CMM. DEG hasn't been. Price action hasn't been brilliant.
Yeah.
BGL, some of the smaller ones. BGL's been actually much better. That's got a buy signal. So that looks like maybe I think I'd just look at the charts and be playing them by the charts, Wolf.
I agree. I think at the end of the day, you are just punting on gold, right? So it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just choose out of the bigger ones, right? And you're probably going to make a little bit of money.
Well, on that note, thank you very much, Wolfie. Always absolutely brilliant. Thanks, Wolfie.
Don't forget to join us for Ask the Analyst tonight, Dave. That's very, very important because we've got a very volatile market, so we need to have some guidance. We need you guys to help us, and vice versa.
All right. Thanks, Wolfie. See you, mate. Bye.
Yes, bye.